Let's go with the waiver wire. We have an interesting week next week. Spurs have 5 games. I double-checked this twice. I checked this on our schedule page on RotoWire. I checked this in our injury database. This is real. Chicago, the Lakers, Minnesota, and Philly only have 2 games. And everyone else obviously is between 3 and 4. I will say I do have a Spurs suggestion for my long shot. However, you have to really consider just picking up almost anybody from the Spurs that plays.
Any Spur, 5 games, yes.
Exactly. Seriously. I'm in last place in Stake League right now, which is a 16-teamer, and I will for sure try to get one of these Spurs players to put in my lineup. It's not even a question. I have to get one of these guys. So consider that. But my available in 50% of leagues player to kick things off, Malik Monk. I was actually shocked to see that he's still only 35% rostered in Yahoo and 7% on ESPN. Past 4 games for Malik Monk, 18 points, 5.3 assists, 2.3 boards in 27 minutes. If you go from fantasy value from the first game of this 4-game stretch through today, he is ranked 67th per game. And someone who he started off the year not playing that many minutes, but they've just been slowly increasing his minutes. They need him out there. You watch the Kings play; he's a necessary part of their team. I watched that Cavs Kings game, and he was like integral. They needed him out there, and his passing is on a new level.
Create his own shot.
He was surprising his teammates with passes.
That's how they're shocked. Monk's giving it up. What? Oh, okay.
I'm open, and Monk passed it to me. So, I don't think this is a fluke. I think their bench is not good enough, and that they need him for 27.
He's getting the post Lakers bounce. Maybe that's a new thing. Post Lakers bounce.
Post Lakers bounce. I think this is long term value. So I would add him. I'd add him in 12 teamers, 10 teamers maybe.
Depends. That's a good call. Yeah, it's a good call, Alex. And I mean, Monk was fantastic last year for the Lakers. 13.8 points, 47% from the floor, 39% from downtown, 2.3 3-pointers. I actually kind of expected him to do well and fit well within Sacramento. The question was, was he going to be starting? Was Herter going to be starting? How much will Davion Mitchell get into the rotation? I think Monk's a solid pickup, especially deep 12-team leagues, 14-team leagues. He provides value there.
Okay, Ken, who is your available in 50% of leagues player?
When the season started, I knew I'd be recommending this guy sooner or later. Aleksej Pokusevski, Poku, 35% rostered on Yahoo, only 7% on ESPN. Had a huge game on Wednesday, 17 points, 10 boards, 2 dimes, 2 blocks, 4 threes. Look, he's only 20 years old. He's had a lot of stinker games. He's still growing into an NBA body, but there is a ton of upside with Poku. Now, I will warn, he's got 3 games next week. Picking up now is more of a long play, but remember, Chet Holmgren's out all season. Poku is the starting power forward on a Thunder team that has no one in the front court. Anyway, I love Poku as a streamer. And the upside's insane if he can, figure things out and be more consistent.
Yep. The frustrating part will be just the Thunder's rotation and how much it changes. Not just the rotation, but the starting lineup. But Poku has started 3 of the past 4 games. He's been healthy. And like you mentioned, Ken, he's coming off that huge performance. I have a lot of Poku this year. And I hope it sticks. I hope he sticks in the starting lineup and continues to play 30-plus minutes.
The dream is he sticks, gets you 2 blocks and 2 threes a game. I'm always a sucker for the block and 3-point combo. Anybody that can do that. But anyway, knock on wood. Shannon, who's your available in 50% leagues pick? I think you hinted at this earlier in the pod.
There was some hinting, and I will admit, I was very excited to slot Poku in, but when I saw you already had him down in the notes, I had to go a different direction. So I've got 2 guys. One is Broucher, Chris Broucher for the Toronto Raptors. This is a little bit of blind faith here because he hasn't done much yet this season. But I do expect with Siakam and Precious both now out, I expect that Toronto has to play Boucher more. In the 2 games where he's played over 25 minutes this season, he is averaging 17 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. He can get blocks. He can get rebounds. He can pour in, 15, 16 points per game if he's seeing the minutes. I expect the minutes to increase from the 20 that he's currently averaging.
He's an older Poku. He's
is.
still maddeningly inconsistent.
Yes, he can. He can certainly hit 3-pointers too, and doesn't have as much of a field goal percentage risk as Poku. The other one, who's for 50% available leagues, this one's very boring, but I just feel like he doesn't get enough love. There's plenty of flaws, but Mason Plumlee is owned in about 50% of your Yahoo leagues. He's averaging 9, 9, and 4. He doesn't block shots like you'd want from a big man. His free throw percentage is atrocious. He doesn't hit 3-pointers.
You got to be able to absorb the free throw hit, but
yes,
otherwise.
The free throw hit is legit. But if you're in a deep points-based league, Plumlee actually absolutely should be owned. He's playing 26 minutes per night. He's locked into the starting lineup. He's shooting 60%.
Rebound machine.
Yep, 60% from the floor. And his he has the past 2 games have been really, really good. 35 minutes per in those 2 outings, 14.5 points, 13.5 rebounds, 78.6% from the floor. If you need rebounds, you need shooting percentage, maybe for a points-based league, Plumlee's a decent option.
My long shot this week, Charles Bassey of the San Antonio Spurs. 3% rostered on Yahoo, 0% on ESPN. Pop said he's going to see more minutes with Zach Collins out, who broke his leg, but apparently he's only going to be out a month. That's awesome. I wish I had that kind of luck. Past 3 games, and this includes a game where he only played 12 minutes, Charles Bassey, 7.3 points, 6 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, 1 assist, 1 steal in 14.5 minutes. For some context on who this guy is, because I'm sure almost nobody's heard of him. In 2018, he ranked 9th in his high school class before slipping to a late 2nd-round pick in 2021. He played in the G League last year, averaged 19 and 10 with 3.5 blocks. Spurs are on a 5-game week. Pick him up.
Yeah, any like you said earlier, Alex, any of those Spurs players, we've talked about Sohan in the past. He's the guy who's still widely available, I think in like 94% of Yahoo leagues. He's starting. He's another guy to pick up for your weekly streaming options on the Spurs.
Pen, who's your
Nice.
long shot?
All right, in fantasy hoops, one of my things I always do is I'm always looking for cheap point guards with upside. So my long shot, it's a long shot, but it's Jordan Goodwin, backup point guard for the Washington Wizards. 23% rostered on Yahoo. I was actually surprised it was that high. Barely rostered on ESPN. He exploded Monday night for a 17.4 rebound, 5 assist game. Wizards are without DeLon Wright for a month plus, and Monte Morris has been a bit of a disappointment. Granted, Washington only has 3 games next week, but if you're searching for point guard help, which I frequently am, take a flyer on Jordan Goodwin. Maybe he blossoms, maybe he doesn't, but they need point guard help in Washington. Give Goodwin a look.
Well, he's a great passer. If we talk about assists being tough to find on the waiver wire, past 3 games, he has 16 assists. So keep that in mind there. Shannon, who is your long shot?
I'm going with another toss-up with 2 of them, this time from the same team. The Rockets, Kenyon Martin Jr. and Tari Eason. I like them both as pickup options right now. I think Eason's the guy who has more upside. Both players are owned in about 75% of Yahoo leagues. Martin's getting more minutes, getting the occasional spot start right now. But production-wise, very similar. Over the past 3 games for Eason, just under 22 minutes, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2.7 steals, 1.3 3-pointers. Martin, over the past 3, 27 minutes per, 17 points, 4.3 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, and 3 3-pointers for him. If you guys had to pick one of those 2 Rockets forwards, which one are you picking up?
Ooh, I'm going Eason just purely for upside. Just love his upside and think he's going to be starting for them next year.
Ari Eason is the 34th best per minute fantasy player in the NBA. He is dominant in the minutes that he gets. So to me, that's the difference. Like Eason's 34th in per minute and Kenyon Martin's 175th. So right. Like you might be thinking, well, okay, Martin's going to see 6-7 more minutes a game consistently. Does not matter. Does not matter if you're shooting for upside. And they have way more committed into Eason in terms of like draft capital. He's the guy. Ken, we're going to your dull suggestion.
This is boring. Cameron Payne of the Phoenix Suns. Now, he was a hot pickup earlier this week when people thought Chris Paul had a heel injury that might last a few weeks. Now it looks like Paul's going to return this week. Payne's rostered in only 31% of Yahoo teams. Look, Phoenix has 4 games this week. And frankly, I think the Suns would be crazy to rush Paul back from this heel injury. So I think Payne's still going to see a lot of minutes. It's a dull pickup, but again, another assist machine at point guard. It might just be a 1-week streaming play. Not the most exciting game, but Cameron Payne's going to have some valuable stats the next 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, they're sorry.
Go ahead.
Their bench is weak. Their bench just is not that good. You're missing Cam Johnson, Chris Paul, you never know. Shamit's not that
Crowder, good. Not on the team, not going anywhere. Weird.
Well, yeah. I could also, even after CP3 returns, I could see the Suns, going with a 3-guard lineup on a regular basis. Maybe not a starting lineup, but just leaning heavier on going small because they're dealing with those injuries.